having a tough time figuring out where Londo is on this stuff because in the beginning, when he starts this arrangement with Morden, he clearly, you see it in his face. I'm making a deal with the devil and I'm going to regret this. And in this episode, it's almost like he relishes the idea. It's a complete 180 on his view of this arrangement. It's like, oh, well, I think I kind of like this. It's like
Mm.
that's out of character. It doesn't seem like it would be consistent because he. Now I also get the sense that he's playing Morden a little bit. He's basically playing both sides against the middle, but it doesn't seem like his attitude toward the arrangement with Morden is the same as it was last season.
I I see it a little differently. I think that when he started out, it was like, Morden came to him with big promises, and he was kind of frustrated. He's like, "Yeah, go ahead, do it."
And he
Right.
And
was
then,
skeptical too.
well, but he was
Yeah.
confident enough that he reported it
Uh,
to, his government, and then it happened, and I think he didn't expect it to be so, he didn't expect them to be wiped out, and then that's when he got kind of scared. Um, and then his asking Morden about, are they going to find out about this in this episode, is him, trying to make sure that he's covering his ass on that.
Yeah.
Um, so, but I think you're right. I think he is kind of between, this is a little more than I expected, and hey, this could really benefit me. So I think he is between those two things.
so Outpost has got an interesting point. Says it's not the same because he is scared in his part that his part in it would get exposed. So maybe he's fearing for his own skin as opposed to
Yeah,
fearing,
Maybe.
he
yeah,
might not want
Maybe.
a bunch of Narns coming after him.
or
Yeah, he's
for that
he's
matter,
obviously
Earthers.
he's happy to have his government know about it because then that puts him up in their sense, that elevates his status. But it would be a big problem if the Narns and the Earthers and all the rest of them knew. He might have more difficulty on the station.
Yeah, but when this whole thing started, you get a sense that he's realizing I'm going to get blackmailed. Yeah, I'm going to get compromised by this arrangement. At some point, it's going to bite me in the back.
Yeah, I think he does realize that, and
But I don't get that sense at all in this episode.
well,
I
think
don't get anything like that from
Well,
him.
There was a kind of a look that he
He's
gave.
worrying about
of
it coming
concern.
back at them. I think that's a pretty good indicator that he's
Yeah.
he's like, he calls Morton. He says, "This isn't going to come back at me." That's a pretty big indicator that.
Well, and
he's worried about
he even when he's talking to him, he says, well, why don't you just, because he said, well, why not just wipe out the Narn homeworld? And what was the response that he got? One thing at a time.
Yeah.
Implying that that's on the agenda at some point.
which I thought that was a great little moment there. That it's like he's being flippant, and more just like, yeah.
Well, and that's what got him into this the first time, was being
right,
flippant.
but also Londo did have a reaction when they found out that the Narn ship was destroyed right before Jakar figured out someone leaked it. Because Londo was like, oh, yeah, I mean, he put it together too.
Right.
It's like, oh, that information that I gave Morden,
but
caused this.
But there's two different things there to be concerned about. One, you can be, Londo can be concerned that his personal involvement in passing on information is he's going to get caught with that.
Right.
That's one aspect of it with relation to Jakar and the rest of the ambassadors and all that other stuff. The other aspect, the aspect I'm talking about is the Morden side. It's not I'm worried that I'm going to get caught. That's here. It's what is this going to cost me in my soul to keep this arrangement going? That's the piece that's missing this time out. That's what I'm talking about. Because this is one of those things where it's going to escalate. And he realizes that when he first starts in last year's episode. This time, or last season, this time it's almost like he's embracing it. And that feels
Right.
out of character to me because
Yeah,
of
and
everything else that we've seen from Londo. Yeah, he's acting out of self-interest, but he's pirate with a heart of gold type. And
yeah,
this feels out of character a little bit for me for him to actually lean into this. I
I think
think
he's
that he
feeling a
should
little
be a
bit
little,
slimy, maybe.
maybe, but see, I don't get a sense of that in this time.
Really? Yeah. And
Yeah.
So
to address Michael, I'm saying that not Morden being flippant. Morden was very serious about his response. He's like, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And the
I,
implication being that yes, we can do this, and this is on our agenda at some
You're
point in
talking about
time.
Londo's
But
just being
Londo was
yeah.
kind of like, well, why not just the whole darn homeworld in? He was being flippant, if anything,
Yeah.
and Morden came back with a very serious, yes, we can do this. But
so I'm
it's not the right time yet, is basically the
I'm
implication.
I'm going to disagree with Jason. I don't think he is that worried about it. I mean, every politician has to, they're beholden to somebody in order to get where they are. They have to, compromise, and it's very typical whether they're taking money from donors or whatever it is in our society. So this is just one step that Londo is doing. I mean, I think he's trying to push himself up in status, up in the political realm somehow, and this is a way of him doing it. So I think he is concerned that, I'm gonna have to, maybe have to, this might come back to bite me in the ass a little bit. But I mean, that's the problem with anything, right? Anytime you're asking someone for support for something, you're gonna have to give a favor back, and it might be more than you want to give. So I think he's gonna, my guess is that in the story he's gonna come to realize that it's probably gonna be a payment. It's gonna be too big, but I don't know that he might suspect that, but he's kind of, this is what has to be done in order to, get my status back or get it up, whatever it is. So I'm not sure that he's as, as big a heart of gold as you think he does. He's maybe a little bit less than that. I don't know. But
Well,
I
he
think it
certainly
remains
does
to be
act
seen.
out of self-interest, sure, but think about that episode with the two kids that wanted to get married.
Right.
Stuff like that. He done, the relationship that he's got with Garibaldi.
It's kind of benevolent.
He is, and he's a rogue.
He's a benevolent
He's
buffoon.
he's Hondo Onaka. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same kind of personality.
Yeah.
And that doesn't fit with, oh yeah, I'm just going to completely go along with these people who are capable of genocide.
Well, I think
just casually joke about it.
Yeah, I think he's going between, he goes between the two. Like he, at some points,
he's vacillating.
He's
vacillating.
he's depressed, or he's like, nothing's ever going to go. So I might as well be, have some fun. I might as well drink. I might as well gamble. I might as well, amuse myself by poking fun at
throw
Garibaldi,
caution to the wind,
or try to get these people.
Yeah, but that's
and then other time, but then he's
hang
like,
on. That's driven by a sense of personal loss for him.
Yes.
And that's not having to do with
or personal failure.
My status of my people. It's me.
Well,
I'm gonna do this because I'm stuck out here in the hind end of nowhere, and I just got to make the best of it. So I'm just gonna party on, dudes.
But but there's also a sense of failure too, right? Like his
right.
life, he's not as powerful or as high status as he wished to be, right? So now he sees an opportunity to become, perhaps regain that status or get the status that he thinks he deserves or that he wants to have. And, he's grabbing for it. So those two different aspects, I see how he can vacillate between them.
But last season, when he sat there and he goes, I can be a hero for this, he also felt the hook and he's like, oh crap, what am I about to get into?
Well,
you saw because that in the
he is experienced.
It's not there in this one.
Yeah, he's
I'm
experienced.
I'm
He
standing
You're
knows
not
that
feeling
there's
it
a
yet.
problem, right? He knows that he's going to have to pay. Nothing's free.
right,
Definitely.
but but see, you don't get any sense of that in this episode. That's my
I-
point.
I don't know. I do, but
I don't know. Yeah, okay,
I don't think they've sold you on it. Maybe.
not yet.
I
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, 'cause it's inconsistent with what we've seen already.
yeah.
We saw him paying his small price so far, which is that he's telling secrets, and we saw
Yep.
that he noticed the consequences of it. Now, whether he's bothered by those particular consequences yet
yeah.
is not clear. But if he's believing Jakar's story at all, and that they were looking for valuable information to know more that might benefit them all, and that was cut off by his action, then
Mhm.
he would be aware of at least, his part in it.
Yeah, and I think that I'm not denying you're wrong, Jason. We don't see a big, but like my thought is that we're gonna see something later on in the season. In some
I,
of the
I,
His con-
I can
his-
I can guarantee you are going to see Londo's story.
Evolve.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes,
I-
yes.
I-
You're this is
Yeah,
definitely
This is
something
the
you're going to
beginning
see.
of an arc. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not really that concerned that in this episode we don't see that he's like he
His-
feels bad about it or he
Maybe his
has that.
conscience hasn't caught up to him yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have that that conflict, or we don't see it because I expect we're going to see it in some other episodes.
It's going to
Well,
start gnawing at it.
If I can allude to something, no spoilers here, but next episode there is one of my favorite scenes in the entire series that involves Londo, and you will be satisfied by what you see with it. Meaning, it is a very definitive.
You mean your
scene.
favorite scene wasn't him crawling on the table?
Well, that was a good one too. Londo has so many good ones, but
Yeah.
but
He is
it's
a good character.
it's a very meaningful scene for the series that comes
Yeah.
next episode. So watch for it. You'll know it when you see it.